Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and this time we are talking about something perhaps happening related to a Smash Bros. Anniversary. There's been this conversation that maybe there could be something more to Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. Anniversary plans. And I'm not necessarily focusing on Ultimate here, it could go beyond Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. For sure? No, not for sure, just possibly. And that's what I would like to talk about today. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and enjoy the ride as we talk about Nintendo every day. So I would say these conversations about something new for Smash happening started around the lead up to the September Nintendo Direct. There was a little bit of speculation that we might get some sort of Smash related announcement. There were the Amiibo restocks, and when the September Direct came around, they announced the Sora Amiibo. But then shortly afterwards, we saw this update from Bandai Namco where they have this dedicated website for their now dedicated Nintendo studio that they've named Studio 2 and Studio S. And when you look at their job hirings, there's a specific job hiring here that actually says construction of stage specifications, level designs, etc. for side view action games. Side view, kind of like Super Smash Bros. Potentially. And, I mean, Smash Bros. Is an action game to an extent. You fight, but maybe that's not what they're referring to, but possibly. And I just think it's interesting that there's this distinction here for a side view action game, because they're also hiring for 3D action games as well. So they're working on more than one game here, it looks like. And given that Bandai Namco has been the main studio working on Smash Bros. For the last few generations in conjunction with Masahiro Sakurai, it looks like they're likely still working on the next Smash Bros. Iteration, whatever that may be. But then going beyond that, we are fast approaching January 21st, 2024. This is December, just a month away in a few weeks, of the 25th anniversary of Super Smash Bros. So we go back almost 25 years ago, the original Super Smash Bros. Came out on the Nintendo 64. And so a lot of Nintendo fans like to really look into Nintendo doing something for an anniversary. They've done it before. Look at Mario's 35th anniversary direct, for example. These things do happen sometimes, but also not all the time. Say, for example, Metroid Prime Remastered. Supposedly, that was going to be showcased for its 20th anniversary, but it didn't happen. They stayed it for a few months later. They didn't mention the anniversary at all, and it came out in a shadow drop for a February direct. So it's a little bit hit or miss there, but there has been this conversation because of the anniversary stuff. There is Zippo, which I don't really want to focus on because there's not really a great track record as of late, but they mentioned a 25th anniversary plan, and then shortly afterwards, Nintendo announced anniversary plans, but not for the whole Smash series, for Smash Ultimate. So the Sora Amiibo will be coming out February 16th, and Nintendo also pointed out on December 7th, the day of the Game Awards, that it is the 5-year anniversary for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They're having a Spirit event, and that's pretty much it. So they've acknowledged this 5-year anniversary for Smash Ultimate, and there are Spirits coming, but what's interesting is that starting in January, there will be more Spirit events happening. So there could be a build-up to some sort of overall Smash anniversary that does happen in January, and maybe that's the case. And maybe all it is just a whole bunch of Spirit events. The same way they put up this cool little image celebrating the 5th anniversary for Smash Ultimate. Perhaps in January, they'll put out a cool little image, perhaps a little bit more celebration there, celebrating the 25th anniversary for the original Smash Brothers that came out on Nintendo 64. So that's where this conversation is kind of stemming from. Some people are hoping that there might be more to this. And as I just talked about with like Metroid Prime Remastered, there are a lot of examples where we're sort of thinking, oh, they might do something for the anniversary, and then nothing happens. Or if something does happen, it's nothing substantial or major. There's a lot of talk about a Zelda 35th anniversary, and we did get that little Game & Watch, but it wasn't like, oh, we have an entirely new game ready for a 35th anniversary. They didn't have like a 35th anniversary direct the same way they had for Mario. And truth be told, I think there's a great chance there will not be a 40th anniversary direct for Mario. I think it just kind of depends on what Nintendo wants to do to give us content and things to enjoy for a particular year. If the 40th anniversary is coming around, and there are some projects that line up, and they don't have much else to showcase for that time that makes sense, then maybe they will have a 40th anniversary direct for Mario. But it's not a given. And it's also not a given that an anniversary is going to mean something major. Like for Ocarina of Time, for example, Nintendo of Europe recently tweeted about the 25th anniversary for Ocarina of Time. And that's great, they are making mention of it here, but that doesn't mean that there is a game planned specifically for the 25th anniversary. Now, I will say there's been a lot of talk about an Ocarina of Time remake. Anumu was recently asked about it, he didn't deny it, we've been talking about this for a while. So there could be something to this, but the main point here is that they haven't announced a literal game for the 25th anniversary to come out on the day of the 25th anniversary. Maybe there's something coming out a little bit down the road, but they're not tying a major release to the anniversary. Anniversaries aren't that important. Sometimes they're used for marketing, sometimes they're used for social media posts like this, and they're cool, and sometimes they do tie into some sort of release, but it really comes down to timing. And so when it comes to the anniversary for Smash Bros., the entire history of this series, I don't think it's a given that something major is going to happen. I do think it's a pretty solid prediction to make that they may announce more Spirit events or they may make mention of it on social media, but I don't think we should be believing that there's going to be a huge game announced for the Smash anniversary. That said, Studio 2 and Studio S is hiring for a side view action game, which could be related to Smash Bros., especially considering their history of working with Smash Bros., Bandai Namco. And since the Booster Course Pass has ended, there is no big new sort of Nintendo DLC that's coming out consistently that will keep NSO members engaged, especially for those that have the expansion pack that would get the Booster Course Pass for free. What's next in that regard? Is there anything else Nintendo has in the works that could be like a big major game that has free DLC on the expansion pack? I think Smash Bros. Is a likely candidate, and I do think there is a possibility that sometime next year this would be announced. With the anniversary of Smash Bros. Coming in January, with the Sora amiibo coming out in February, it wouldn't surprise me if, say, we get another February Direct as we've gone most years, and during this presentation, they make mention of a new Fighter's Pass for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It is conceivable to me. But I also should say, I think the next generation of Nintendo Switch is coming next year, as a lot of the reports indicate. I mean, even if it's somehow not coming out next year, which I do really doubt, the year afterwards is not too far off. And so I do think that they're probably gearing up for the next Smash Bros. Game, whatever that may be. Maybe they've decided that they're going to do like a Smash Ultimate Deluxe. Maybe they've decided that they're going to have just like a significant upgrade to Smash Ultimate on the new console and just start releasing more DLC. Or maybe there's a brand new game in the works. We know Bandai Namco is working on some sort of side view action game. And some people have been speculating recently that Masahiro Sakurai may be back at it. And the reason why people are arguing this is because if you look at Masahiro Sakurai and Creating Games, his YouTube channel, his most recent public project where he puts out videos that are supposed to kind of help people learn how to make games and just the process behind them, it seems like the amount of videos coming out from him on the channel has slowed down somewhat. Now, if you look here, it seems like he's coming out with about 8 or 9 videos per month. But as you go further back and you start counting them off, the numbers are a little bit higher. Like you see here, it says 5 months ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, or sometimes it's 12 or 13, the further back you go. So we're seeing months now that are about 8 or 9, and in the past it was about 11 to 13. It's not a significant difference, and just looking, and this is all at a glance here, right? I'm not looking at the specific dates, just kind of like the suggestion of how long ago they occurred. It may be the case that things have slowed down somewhat. I don't know if that necessarily means anything, but at the same time, Masahiro Sakurai has not officially retired from developing games. He is on the record for saying he still wants to work on some things. So it may be the case that he does have a hand in the next Smash Bros., which doesn't seem like a crazy bet, right? Because he has had a hand in every single Smash Bros., and he hasn't said he's stepping down yet. And of course, once Nintendo's next generation comes around, they're going to want to have some sort of offering for Smash Brothers. The same way how every major generation has some sort of Smash offering, a Mario Kart offering, an Animal Crossing offering. They're gonna get something ready for Smash Brothers for the next system. So, going back to the main question, is there something more to these anniversary plans? It may be the case that they will announce some sort of Smash content for the anniversary early next year. Maybe more spirit events. Maybe there's some sort of merchandise or memorabilia that they will offer for those who want it to help to partake in the Smash celebrations. But I don't think there's going to be like a major content update or a major game update specifically for the Smash celebrations. They may coincide. Maybe they announce this in the February Direct. It's possible. But I think it makes more sense to think that they are working on something new for Smash Brothers, but it's going to be something that's tied to the next system. So unless the next system is announced, say, next month, then I don't really expect for there to be new Smash content announced next month. Unless we're talking about like a basic Spirit event. I'm more so referring to something bigger here, like a new game, or like a deluxe, or a new Fighter's Pass. Something big like that I think would be saved for the next generation. Not for an anniversary that, in reality, companies celebrate when it benefits them, not consistently. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. This is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.